What's up guys, it's Coding Jesus, and in today's video I want to talk about Bitcoin's fundamental flaw, and that is fungibility. Now this does not only apply to Bitcoin, it applies to all other cryptocurrencies that have a public blockchain, and today we're going to be talking about it. Now when you hear the word fungibility, Bitcoin maximalists cringe, and they cringe because they write this off as, you're concern trolling. Well, we'll try saying somebody's concern trolling on a Harvard debate stage. It doesn't work, because concern trolling is a euphemism for I don't have any argument against your point, which was brilliantly made, so I'm just going to brush it under the rug. Alright, so let's get into the actual contents of today's video. What is fungibility? Why is Bitcoin not fungible? And what other cryptocurrencies provide that level of fungibility that make me comfortable in using them as an alternative to Bitcoin? Okay guys, fungibility is the basic idea that one unit of something is equivalent to another unit of something. For example, this book, Unit A is equivalent to the same unit, Unit B. That is what fungibility is. One gold bar is completely exchangeable with another gold bar. They are perfectly fungible. Okay? Now, once you hear this, you're probably asking yourself, why is Bitcoin not fungible? One Bitcoin should be worth the same amount as another Bitcoin. I mean, there's one price for Bitcoin, right? No, that's incorrect. Bitcoin is not a fungible commodity, given it has a public blockchain. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, whenever you have a public blockchain, somebody can observe all given transactions that have happened before you've received that Bitcoin, right? You're not the first person to receive that Bitcoin. Somebody else has traded it with somebody else, and somebody else has given it to somebody else, etc., etc., etc. Now, there are two concepts that make the price of Bitcoin not fungible, or make Bitcoin as a commodity not fungible. That is virgin Bitcoin and tainted Bitcoin. We have regular Bitcoin here, virgin Bitcoin here, and tainted Bitcoin here. What does that mean and how does that relate to fungibility? Well, Bitcoin is not fungible because different types of Bitcoin, and yes, there are different types of Bitcoin in an abstract form, different types of Bitcoin are worth different prices. Virgin Bitcoin trade at a premium to regular Bitcoin, and tainted Bitcoin trade at a discount to regular Bitcoin. What does that mean? A virgin Bitcoin is a Bitcoin that was just recently minted by a miner. It has no transaction history, right? So a virgin Bitcoin on the over-the-counter exchange trades at a premium to regular Bitcoin because it is fresh, it's new. Nobody touched it, it has no trading history. Imagine a crisp $100 bill that just came off the printing press. To me, that's a little more valuable. It might be a cent more valuable in my mind, or 2 cents more valuable in my mind, than a dollar bill or $100 bill that has people drawing on it and it's crumpled up and it's like ripping and falling apart. Because there's a risk to using that crumpled $100 bill, the risk that it deteriorates and somebody's not going to be willing to accept it and will say, give me a fresh $100 bill. I don't want this tainted $100 bill that's gonna, crumble the moment I touch it. The same thing applies to Bitcoin, but the concepts are a little different. A virgin Bitcoin is newly minted, it trades at a premium. Now, what is a tainted Bitcoin? A tainted Bitcoin is not a Bitcoin that has a lot of transaction history, rather it is a Bitcoin that has illicit transaction history. There are companies out there, like Chainalysis, that surveil the public blockchain, and they have very smart people working on algorithms to tag Bitcoin outputs that they deem are high risk, meaning that they deem are part of illicit transactions. Whether that output was associated with an Alpha Bay hot wallet, whether that output was associated with, Ross Ulbricht, or whether that output was associated with whoever the mainstream establishment deems as persona non grata, exiled, illicit, foreign, gray zone, black market, etc., etc. Now, in the middle, you have regular Bitcoin. Regular Bitcoin is simply Bitcoin with a transaction history that is clean. There is no illicit transaction history. That means that tainted Bitcoin trades at a discount to regular Bitcoin, and virgin Bitcoin trades at a premium to regular Bitcoin. Hence, Bitcoin is not fungible. A virgin Bitcoin is worth more than a regular Bitcoin, and a tainted Bitcoin is worth less than a regular Bitcoin. Okay, Coding Jesus, now what does this mean for me as a cryptocurrency enthusiast? Well, me personally, I'm not willing to run the risk of possessing tainted Bitcoin. What risks do you run by possessing tainted Bitcoin? Well, me as an individual, I don't know if somebody's sending me a tainted Bitcoin. I buy a coffee, he sends me Bitcoin. That's not doable nowadays, but that's another topic. He sends me Bitcoin. I don't know if somewhere down the line, 10 hops, 20 hops, 50 hops, 100 hops, somebody used that Bitcoin for an illicit transaction. Now, why should you care if you got tainted Bitcoin? Well, if you send that tainted Bitcoin to an exchange and they run some sort of analysis on that Bitcoin on that output see all the hops that it's passed, well, then they might arrive at a hop that is tagged as illicit. At this point in time, this Bitcoin was used to buy weapons or drugs or whatever. And the exchange will then confiscate your Bitcoin and require you to provide an onerous amount of documentation proving who you are and you are not that person that 50 hops away made that illicit transaction, which is virtually impossible. So that's why tainted Bitcoin is sold or is bought at a discount. Because by using that tainted Bitcoin, you run the risk of confiscation at a centralized point, at a given third party, like an exchange, like a custody solution, etc., etc. All right, now how can you prevent yourself from having your Bitcoin confiscated? Well, some Bitcoin maximalists that really want to cling on to Bitcoin will say, use Wasabi wallet or use some other wallet that has some inherent obfuscation techniques. But let me tell you guys, it doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying this, doesn't work because I feel like saying it doesn't work. I previously worked at a cryptocurrency company before becoming a software developer. And I worked with, as part of being at that cryptocurrency company, various AML and KYC tools like Chainalysis. I've gone through the demos, I've seen the whole thing, how everything's tracked, how everything's tagged. And guys, there is no getting around it. Using a mixer won't help, using Wasabi wallet won't help, using CoinJoin won't help. The blockchain is public. CoinJoin just adds a layer of you think you're comfortable and you think you're safe, but it is false safety. It is false comfort, right? Chainalysis and other companies see right through it. They write complex algorithms to be able to tell that you send those Bitcoins through all these different channels, mixing and matching, and back to yourself. So don't fool yourself using a CoinJoin, using a mixer. It doesn't help. What I prefer to do is secede from Bitcoin as a fundamentally inferior form of currency to currencies that are private by default. Private by default and optionally public. Cryptocurrencies like Monero, for example. Now, disclaimer, I do own Monero, but regardless, Monero is a coin that is private by default and has a various amount of built-in obfuscation techniques that make it extremely difficult to track. I'm not going to go on the whim here and say Monero is totally anonymous. There is a series called Breaking Monero that focuses on various attacks and various threat models that can compromise you as a user for Monero. But regardless, Monero provides you with plausible deniability and puts the onus on the exchange and the centralized party to prove that your Monero outputs are indeed tainted. They can't tell for sure, but they can build a probability profile on you as a Monero holder. So I choose to secede from public blockchains like Bitcoin because, fungibility is an issue. That's just one of the issues with something like Bitcoin, but I choose to secede from it, and I choose to carry on with a cryptocurrency that I think has a much stronger future, that is fungible, that is private by default, and that actually poses a threat to the establishment like Monero. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, double tap thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe for more. I have a Calendly link if you want to speak to me one-on-one. I also have a Discord link if you want to speak to me one-on-one in the description box below. And guys, just a disclaimer, none of this is investment advice. I'm just running through you the ideas that I have in my head and hoping that you enjoy hearing what I have to say. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.